Fans have been asking LEGO to make this set for years, and while LEGO unfortunately hasn't made it yet, I have, and that's what I'm showing you today. So welcome to my mock showcase of Captain Rex's Y-Wing. I want to start off this video by showing you all of the features, so let's get straight into it. First off, it has seating for 2 minifigures. The front seat has controls for the ship, and the rear one has controls for the turret. And behind that, you can see a spot to put an astromech droid. You just take off the head and put it right on in. It can swivel, and for some reason, you can shoot it with the turret. Anyway, behind that, you'll find the bomb bay. And no, it doesn't actually drop bombs. I sacrificed that feature for looks. But I can assure you, if LEGO were to ever make this set, it would be able to drop bombs. Now for what everyone wants to know. How big is the MOC? Well, it's 1.4 feet long and it's 7.5 inches wide. So just to give you a good idea of how big that is, here are some different sets you might own compared to it. Anyway, if we take a look at the front of the ship, you can see how it was put together. Basically, I just used some hinge pieces to get a nice smooth slope across the sides. And you can see that the top is really just a thin layer of wedge plates. But one thing I really tried to do was have as little stud showing as possible. You can especially tell towards the middle of the ship. I do this just to make the ship look a lot cleaner. Now, the most recognizable part of the Y-Wing is of course the huge engines. You can't have a Y-Wing without them. So I replicated them by using these half tube pieces. There are a total of 16 used for the engines. And to make sure they don't look plain, I use some thin plates across the top. And at the rear of them, I use car wheels to make the thrusters. And all the way back at the front of them, you can see these cone pieces in these rounded 2x2 plates that are usually used to make stuff slide across the floor. But here, I use them upside down to top off the engines. Both of the engines are hooked in with some simple Technic pins, and while it's only 2 of them, it's surprisingly sturdy. And that's really just because these engines don't weigh that much. In fact, the whole ship is pretty light. So if LEGO were to make the set a reality, it would probably only cost around $70, which don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money for a piece of plastic, but compared to other LEGO sets, that's pretty cheap. Now, what is the reason it's so light? Well, if we take a look at the bottom, you can see it is literally just a thin layer of plates. But yet, it's still a really sturdy MOC. Oh, and on the swooshability scale, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Okay, so I was just filming that clip, and it sort of broke, so maybe it's not so sturdy. On the swooshability scale, let's give it a 2. Now that I've shown you pretty much everything I can about this MOC, you probably are wanting this as a real set. Well, I've got good news for you. I believe LEGO will be releasing a Captain Rex's Y-Wing in 2024. I believe that because LEGO just released Captain Rex in the $600 UCS Venator. And LEGO has previously promised to not keep desirable figures locked behind an expensive set. So it is almost guaranteed that we will be getting a Captain Rex figure in the next coming years. And with his Y-Wing probably being one of the most wanted sets, we can expect LEGO might release it in 2024.